Well, welcome to the channel, viewers. You've got to have a sport. Okay, you've got to have a sport. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison here at Gosford on the New South Wales Central Coast. Thank you if you've taken the time to stop by. Some people have asked me about triangulation, and I wondered how I was going to explain it. And one of the simplest ways can be from a record in the Bible where Herodias, who was Herod's wife, was originally his brother Philip's wife. So Herod obviously had some serious lust issues because he's somehow or other persuaded his brother Philip's wife to be with him. And what happened was she hated John the Baptist because John the Baptist challenged her as being an adulteress. As being an adulteress. So what happened? Herod had a turnout. He had a do. And this just goes to show that this happens amongst high-ranking people as well. There's no difference. There's no partiality with covert emotional incest. And obviously Herodias, who knew Herod had a fancy for her daughter, given that he'd taken her off his brother Philip, he had no conscience, asked, I forget the girl's name, maybe I've got it wrong, but it was Herodias' daughter. He asked her to dance for him in front of all his officials and at this turnout, and he said, I'll give you anything up to half of my kingdom, which meant I'll put you in your mother's place. I'll replace you, your mother, with you, which isn't uncommon. And that's a classic case of narcissism, isn't it? And the sinful nature in action. So the mother was furious, of course, I'd imagine, and so he danced. She danced and impressed everyone, and Herod was delighted, absolutely delighted. He wanted a piece of that action. And of all the things she could have asked for, she went to her mother and said, what should I ask for? And the mother said, and some of you may have heard this story, the mother said, the head of John the Baptist on a platter. Come here, please. Come on, mate. Don't start. Don't start. Come on. Quick. Over here. Everybody went silent. It was quite a shock, that kind of brutal request. Over here, please. Don't. See how he's trying to bargain. Come on, quick. Come on. In here. Good boy. I won that one. Don't know how. Now, it was a shock because it was a horrible... Everybody knew that John the Baptist was a holy man and that he didn't mean anyone any wrong. What he accused Herodias of was true. She did abandon her husband Philip, probably for status, Herod being who he was. And now, with John sticking his nose in, where he really didn't need to, but he did, being the type of man that he was, is going to be executed, beheaded, because she asked for the head of John the Baptist on a platter. And this upset Herod. He didn't want to do that, but he had to keep his word. Nobody could have imagined that was what was going to happen. But that's triangulation. The daughter couldn't have cared less if she had John the Baptist's head or not. But who did she back up? She backed up the mother. That's triangulation through DNA. The mother used the child to get what she wanted. A beautiful, horrible, but classic picture of triangulation through covert emotional incest. Obviously, the mother and the daughter were enmeshed, and that enmeshment had more influence than the bond between Herodias and Herod. See what I'm saying? Herod being the governor, I think, or something of that nature, of Jerusalem, of that part of the world at that time. There was something to do with Pontius Pilate as well. Now I think Pontius Pilate was the governor. Herod was something else. I don't want to get into all that because I'm not tuned in on it. But my point being, of all the things that she could have asked for, and this is how lethal covert emotional incest is, she turned to the mother and asked, what should I ask? And the mother said, for the head of John the Baptist on a platter. Of all the things up to half the kingdom that person could have had, they chose the head. Through the mother's influence, she chose, against Herod's will, in front of all the people he was entertaining, she chose the head of John the Baptist on a platter. That is a brilliant case of covert emotional incest. A lot of these women will choose their children over their partners. It's just a maternal DNA enmeshment thing. And they shouldn't have to be picking and choosing. This is the point. But they do. They do. And it always brings harm. And I don't think they really care. If they really cared, they wouldn't be put into these situations. They wouldn't put you in these situations. But they do. And the reason is they don't care. Their children are more important than what you are. You're not DNA. You could be the father. You could be the mother. It doesn't matter. Once enmeshment is working itself through emotional incest, nobody's safe. There's no loyalty. I'm telling you, there isn't. They'll turn up. Herodias was with Herod. That wasn't the issue. That's not a problem. The problem was what was going on underneath, the spirit underneath. And the spirit underneath wanted vengeance. And in this case, it was John the Baptist. So I would have said to myself, if she's got the capability of wanting to take out John the Baptist, then she could take out me. And I would have said, you better go back to your brother Philip. To my brother Philip, you're not of any value to me. You're too much of a risk. And basically that's what happened in my last relationship. She would not resolve the hostility of her jealous son. And in the back of my mind, without me even trying, my mind's going, hang on mate, if she can't work that out, a simple thing like that, and stand by you without having to, ruin a relationship with a son, well, it couldn't be all that important. I've done nothing wrong. The son was going to go that way anyway, no matter what I did. There's some people you're just not going to please. They want you gone. I thought, if she can't even resolve a child, what am I going to do if something really big happens? And I just went, nah. And then she come up with some idea about a family event. And I just thought, no, you're not putting me in that situation, honey. I tried to ask several times, when am I going down? When am I going down to sit with these guys? Because I was going to take my two sons. She wasn't aware of that. But they were ready to go at the call, just to see what exactly was going on. But that would have been too much anyway. They would have freaked out. They probably all would have got along, but it was going to make a statement that you people, the world is watching you, my world is watching you, and it's not liking what it's seeing. That's how covert emotional incest works. It is destructive. It is self-unaware, and it will do whatever it has to get its way. Best thing for you to do is get out, and get out fast.